So,
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the Planet B Photography Podcast. We're here today with Riley Taylor. Riley, good to meet you, man.
you too.
So today we're gonna be talking about origin stories. We're gonna be running down a couple photo selections. Then we're gonna be getting you out of here, lickety split.
Awesome, thank you.
So let's start with your origin, man. What got you into photography?
Mostly going to concerts and wanting to capture the memories so distinctively that I could carry them forward because my memory's not the best. So
Yeah.
yeah, so and I cherish those moments so much because when I first started going, I got so few of them and they were so important to me
Mhm.
that I wanted to carry those memories forward, like I said before, and keep them with me. And then that expanded into giving them to other people as well, and
Hell yeah.
allowing to capture those memories for other people.
Hell yeah, man. So
Yeah,
like concert photography was like right from the get-go?
pretty much. Yeah, pretty
That's
much.
awesome, man.
Yeah, yeah,
Leads me to my next question. What
yeah,
got you into concert photography? But there we go, man.
yeah, for sure.
Right on. So I asked you to send me the photo that kind of like got you started into photographing concerts. You sent
Yep,
me one, A Circus Survive. What
that's
made
right.
that in particular shot stick out for you?
So that one is like it's not like done on a professional camera. It's not
Hmm.
done like it was done last minute. I actually took my parents' like brand new point and shoot camera to
Hell
this
yeah.
show. Yeah, and I went with a friend, my friend Ian, and I had never really taken a professional camera or like any kind of digital camera to a concert before.
Hmm.
And he was like, "Oh, you should try all these things. Like, you should try taking the flash or like not using flash and see, and like it'll capture the lights really cool." And I was like, "I've never thought about doing that." So I turned off the flash and took some photos. And when I looked at them later, I was like, "Wow, this is exactly how I remember this concert and this show." And it
That's
was such,
awesome.
yeah, it was such an important moment. Um, because I had never really been able to take those moments away with me. Because before it was always just like disposable cameras and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So it was always pretty crappy photos. But they are really fun and really like they're definitely mementos. But this I took away and just it resonated with me so much that I said to myself, like, I could do this at every concert I go to. And I could take this away for, and it was very selfish. It was very much for me, and then it kind of bloomed and expanded into a bigger idea and giving it to everybody else.
Yeah, I know what you mean about it starting out as like the selfish thing where it's like these are my memories from the night that I'm just gonna relive
Yeah,
over and over again every time I look at
for sure. Yeah,
it.
and everyone is so lucky now to have a camera in their hand in their pocket
Yeah,
at all time and be able to capture those moments for themselves selfishly, um which rightfully so. You paid for this, you paid to see the show.
yeah.
You might love this artist, you might not know who it is, but then that's where I come in and I try to capture, and that's my goal, is to capture the whole ambiance of what you're seeing in front of you and not just what you've taken out of your pocket.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah,
Well, the photos that I selected of yours when I was going through your portfolio, I like didn't want to just kind of go through like your most recent Instagram
for
ones.
sure. Yeah,
So I was
yeah.
like, let's go through the portfolio site and just like getting smacked immediately with like Metallica and Foo Fighters. I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize it was on that level for you.
For sure, yeah.
Uh,
There was a good period of time where I was doing like really big stuff.
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
When I was scrolling down though, I saw Tenacious D stick out, and I was like, I gotta find those photos and ask him about shooting them. That was
for
at
sure.
a Riot Fest, correct?
That's right. Yeah, Rye Fest in Chicago, the
Hell
one and
yeah!
only time I've gone.
Oh, that was only a year.
It was only I had only gone that year, and they had Riot Fest in Toronto a couple times. But I guess they stopped doing that, and they still have it obviously in Chicago, but I haven't been back
Yeah.
since.
Oh, right on. Any
Yeah.
plans to shoot any of the ones in the future, or is that just kind of a one and done for you?
No, no, for sure. It's always on. It's always on. It's always in my mind that I want to shoot it. It's just I got to go through all the channels and figure out like it turns out to be a trip for me, right? Because
Mhm.
flying in or even driving to Chicago and just trying to find a place to stay and all that stuff is just it's getting more and more expensive, and
Yeah.
I just need to find a way to make it financially an option
Yeah.
for me.
And not
Yeah.
a logistical nightmare.
For sure. Yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah. I also saw Andrew WK amongst those Riot Fest photos, and I was like,
Totally, yeah.
hell yeah.
That year was so much fun, and it was the last year that they had it at, I think it was at Douglas Park. I think it was the last year that they had it there, and
Okay.
um yeah, that lineup was so cool. And it was very nice. I was at that time I was working for a company in Toronto called Ox TV, which is now defunct, but they had a lot of connections with like record labels and stuff like that. So I was able to get access to shows like the Metallica one
Right on.
and stuff that's put on by Live Nation, which is a little bit harder to get into these days. You really need to have a
Yeah, I've
backing.
noticed that.
Yeah, yeah,
It's interesting changes are among us.
for sure, for sure.
Any other like festivals that stand out amongst your shooting, or was Riot Fest that one year like the lone festival that you've
No, 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 no. I do festivals all the time. Oh, I used to do them a lot more. Back in the day when I had that kind of backing of a company that I
Mm.
was shooting for. Now it's a little bit harder that I'm freelance. I usually have to really go through my channels and go through the connections I've made over the years, which is a little hard for me because I it's very hard to not feel like a hassle when you ask for those things,
Yes, I
but
know
I
exactly what you mean.
yeah, but I very much subscribe to the if you don't ask you'll never get anything.
Hmm.
So I constantly have to tell myself that, and I constantly have to go through those motions of just like saying I want to do this and I should do this. So um the one big one that happens in Toronto that I help run the media for is called New Friends Fest,
Okay.
and it's like a big screamo emo kind
Right
of
on.
music festival here in Toronto. Yeah, it's run over 3 days, and they get some really big, really big names and kind of like unearth or bring back from the dead a lot of bands that haven't been to Toronto for a really long time or haven't played in a very long time. So it's really cool to be part of that team and um be able to get a lot of newer photographers in and shooting a festival and giving them the option to do what they feel like is good for them,
Yeah.
rather than following like specific guidelines from someone being on assignment or anything like that. It's very much a DIY situation.
That's awesome. That's how you're
Yeah,
gonna get the best work. Cause like,
for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah, man. The Toronto scene's cool as hell. It just seems like just a close knit family with just like 1,000 bands just all in it.
Yeah, yeah, totally. It is very much a hub for a lot of bands especially bands touring. Stopping in Toronto is usually on the list. It can be sometimes a tough crowd. Because it's a big city. There's so many options now, especially after bring up COVID, especially after COVID. Like people are very pick and choose with what they do these days, especially with
Definitely.
everything being more expensive. So it's it's kind of like a double edged sword having a show in Toronto. It can either go very well for you or very poorly, depending on what else is happening that night and depending on what kind of crowd you might want. Because what I see a lot in Toronto, and it's a little sad and it's a little disheartening sometimes, is a lot of people buy tickets or go to concerts or go to shows just to say they went.
Yeah.
So it's a little hard to feel that energy and that presence of people wanting to be there as opposed
Yeah.
to having that status of being there.
Yeah, it's kind of like the genuine nature of wanting to go to that like just show and kind of be in that environment just because that's like where you feel right in that moment,
For
rather than
sure.
just kind of be like, I don't know, almost like a modern day Forrest Gump, just be like, oh, I was at this show. Oh, I
I,
was at this show too.
that is almost exactly what it's turned into.
Yeah,
And it's I get it. And
I do as
I'm
well.
for sure, and I very much play into that as well.
Yeah,
Like if it's a show like that I want to shoot, I try very hard to be there to feel like I was part of it.
yeah,
But I also have such a different relationship with music that I love just being there
yeah,
in general. So I'm the type of person that bands would want to come out to shows.
definitely. You
Right,
seem like you
right.
just got that friendly nature with you.
For sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do. I do.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. What are some of like the more extreme lengths you've gone to like be like, oh, I really want to shoot this show. How can I make this happen?
Um
Anything standing out?
uh, yeah, probably like for the Blood Brothers, they just did a big reunion tour last year and I flew out to LA to shoot it and I was talking with the band for months beforehand to
Hell
like
yeah.
kind of solidify that and the tour what didn't come up to Toronto and didn't leave the states. So I very much had to pull some strings and like make it a big trip to get out there.
Yeah. It's good to hear
Yes.
it worked out for you though.
For sure. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like
I was very stoked. Very, very stoked to be there.
hell yeah, man. What's like the farthest you've gone for like a show that wasn't or a tour that wasn't coming to Toronto or anywhere near you?
Uh, I toured with a DJ, which is completely not my style, but it was it was a big eye opener and it was a big learning experience, which was really cool. We went over to Singapore and Indonesia, like Jakarta,
Oh, right
and
on, dude.
yeah. So she played a set. Her name's Jack Novak. I don't
Okay.
think she DJs anymore, but we went out and did like a cruise festival, which was interesting to say the least. And that was out of Singapore. So that was like 3 days on a boat. She played two sets, and basically we hung out for the rest of the time. And then flew into Indonesia and did a show in Jakarta and another city I can't, Surabaya, I believe. And those are so much fun. And
That
we're
sounds
like,
awesome.
yeah, we were treated like royalty, which was very strange. And it was just very like very much outside of my comfort zone,
Yeah.
but very much inside of it as well because I love to travel, I love new experiences, but having that weight of being hired by someone to do this.
Yeah.
And then I ended up kind of tour managing a little bit too, which I didn't really sign up for, but hey, you roll with the punches when you're there. um it was like very it was a very draining, but I learned so much from it experience.
Yeah, that's how you got to look at experiences like that. It's like, yeah, this is all extra stuff that's getting thrown in my lap that like I didn't 100% sign on for, but
Totally.
now I
Totally.
know how to do this forever going forward, and that's
That's right.
just expanding my arsenal and my tool belt or whatever.
Exactly. And it's so funny because it's something I don't regularly revisit in my head or in like if I've done podcasts or people ask me like what have you done or like a question like you just asked, it's not at the forefront of my mind.
Mhm.
But it's definitely it's such a huge building block of my career that I've made.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, second photo I'm going to ask you about was that Cancer Bats photo
Totally.
of Dude Man kicking. I'm not good with names of band members. I'm
Jackie.
sorry. Jackie.
Yes, Jackie.
Doing a. I just wrote down Cancer Bat's kick.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, those dudes they're some of the nicest guys. I call them friends now, which is really really nice.
Hell yeah! I always see him popping up like in your feed and all that.
For sure, yeah. I'm actually going out on a couple of days. They do the cover band Bat Sabbath where they
I
cover
was
it.
gonna ask you if you've gotten to photograph Bat Sabbath
For
yet.
sure, I have. Yeah, so they're
That's
doing
awesome.
they're doing a small Ontario tour at the end or like mid December, late December, I guess. And I'm gonna hop on a couple of those tour dates and do some shows with them.
That is awesome. I
Yeah,
can't
so
wait to
much
see those photos.
so much fun. I've taken photos of that of them doing Bat Sabbath before, and it's so much fun. Something like that is so different, and
Yeah,
the energy is so much more different because it's almost like Halloween,
yeah. That's a
where
great way to describe it.
yeah, where people can come to this show and pretend they're somewhere else and
Yeah,
pretend they're watching someone else, and the band can also pretend like they're someone else and very much play it up, and all those dudes are so good at it, and they have so much fun when they do it that it really doesn't matter what kind of vibe the crowd is giving them or the people at the show are giving them.
yeah,
They're still having so much fun, and that's what I love. That's one of the main things I love about those guys is that they play so hard every time, and they
yeah.
love playing. So
Yeah, I've seen him open up just doing regular Cancer Bat stuff. I've
yeah,
seen him
yeah,
open up for Guar a couple times,
for
and
sure,
like they look like they're having the most fun up there.
for sure,
So then
and
like seeing that they get to do like their own like Halloween stuff and just have like alternate reality
for
Bat
sure,
Sabbath shows, it's like
for
these guys
sure,
are just fun. It
yes,
seems
yeah.
and it radiates fun.
Yeah, and they love doing that Guar stuff too. They had done two separate or three separate tours with them, so they
Yeah.
obviously have a good relationship with them. So it's yeah, it's really really nice to see guys like that who have been in the scene forever. Like that band was one of the first bands I ever shot when I had bought a DSLR.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so it's really cool to see that evolution and to see where a band like that plays music that doesn't necessarily like belong on the radio or like belong in a stadium,
Mhm.
to see where that career kind of lands later in life, um when they have families and other careers and other ways of making money and other ways of being able to do what they love, um as almost a full-time thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so
cool because it's like it doesn't belong in like the stadiums or anything, but it still belongs, and just like
totally,
having
yeah.
that belonging just continue on is it's cool.
And I feel like that's very much a like very it's very much an awkward zone for a lot of bands trying to figure out where they belong.
Yeah,
And I think they very much understand where they belong and where they thrive.
hell yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alrighty, last photo I'm gonna ask you about before we wrap up with your
Yeah,
with the crowd
which
photo.
print is this?
Oh, the Carrie King one from
Oh,
the Slayer show.
I have a crazy story about that
I cannot wait to
show.
hear it.
So that show is actually I forgot you got that. That's awesome. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. That's one of my most favorite photos.
Hell yeah.
That show was at like a mid-level venue in Toronto that doesn't exist anymore, sadly. It was called the Cool House. And
Okay.
I've had seen so many bands there and shot so many bands there as well. I'm sad it's gone. It's been gone for a long time now, like almost a decade. But during that show, there were so many crowd surfers that they could not keep up. Security could not keep up, and I don't think anyone but me saw this happen. But you know how loud Slayer is.
Yeah.
I I was shooting in the pit, and a crowd surfer kind of like came behind me, and like nobody was there to catch him, and he hit the ground so hard that over the music, I heard his wrist snap. Like, I
Oh,
kid you not.
oh my
And he
God.
was like, I had to like tap security and go like, that guy fell, like that guy's really hurt. I watched him
Yeah.
pull him out like immediately, and never heard anything else other than seeing that happen. But who
I'm sure
knows?
he's fine.
Like, yeah, I'm sure he had to lose the hand. I think maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is one memory I will never forget.
Yeah, that's something that'll
Yeah.
sear into your brain pretty
For
quickly.
for sure. It took me a couple seconds to get back into it. And like that happened within the first three songs because that's all we
Yeah.
get usually. So
Yeah.
yeah. So it was pretty wild. But it was also pretty wild that Slayer was playing that kind of venue too.
Yeah.
Because they only like they did never played anything smaller like that after.
Yeah, that seems like, I mean, nuts things are gonna happen when like a nuts band like Slayer is playing at like a small place like that, but
For
like
sure.
that is
Yeah.
yikes.
Yeah. It was one of the worst things I've seen in a photo pit. I've seen some pretty gnarly like falls and people land on their head and people get their head like their nose smashed in the barricade and blood everywhere. But
Yeah.
like I couldn't believe that I heard that snap. Yeah.
I don't remember what band it was, but there was a similar situation. Crowd surfer gets launched over the railing without security there to grab him. And dude just like hit his head on the stage, and I remember the thud, and I remember the look on like just the dazed look when he got up and just kind of
For
helped
sure.
himself out. It was
Yeah.
like, I feel like I'm seeing this dude's last 72 hours right now. This is
Yeah.
this
Don't
is
fall
bad.
asleep after this, please.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Very excited to talk about your last photo because it's
Yeah.
Mets photo and
Yeah.
Mets rules.
Oh,
I'm
yes,
so
for
excited
sure.
to talk about Mets.
For sure. Yes, of course. Yeah,
So,
well, ask away. Ask away.
I guess what makes you so proud of that specific shot of them, and then we can
Um,
just take it from there.
totally. It was a moment. It was almost like a career defining moment for me. Somebody just casually said that very much that photo's great. It very much reminds me of a Charles Peterson
Oh
photo.
hell yeah! That's like the
And
ultimate compliment to get.
yes, yeah. So I was like, that is exactly what I am trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so that just like it sent chills down my spine, and I was just like, that is the biggest compliment ever for me.
Yeah.
Because that is what that is something I strive to do so much with every show, and like that's why I seek out a lot of the times like bands who will give it their all every
Mm-hmm.
time
Yeah.
they play. Mets was one of those bands that would play and you never knew what you were gonna get
Yeah.
when they played. So
Yeah.
that particular show was great. It was during so Texas has South by Southwest. We have
Yeah.
North by Northeast
Oh, cool.
up here. Well, it was much cooler back then. It's kind of like died, and then they tried to bring it back, and it's not as good as it was. Hey, it's still something, but it'll never be as good as it was before.
Right.
It kind of took over the entire city, kind of like South by Southwest. But that was a very last minute show. It was at a venue called Smiling Buddha, tiny place. And I was actually not shooting North by Northeast that year. I was away, and I think I was at at like a cottage or something. And my friend messaged me and said Mets is playing a last minute secret show, last day of the fest. Like, are you gonna come? And I was like, oh yeah, I can 100% make it. So I raced back, went. Like I said, tiny place, last minute. So it gets packed. It's so sweaty. And all they have are these little tiny stage lights on the floor. First 5 seconds. First note, someone gets pushed onto it, and all the lights go out. They play in the dark for the rest of the show.
The rest of the show?
There were no other lights, so they played in darkness for the rest of the show. And I've learned from my mistakes in the past, so I will always bring a flash with me, and I will always bring another lens with me. So I put my flash on and I was lucky to have my flash, and a couple other photographers were there as well. But like, I will never forget that show because it was just pure chaos.
Yeah, that sounds like it, man.
Yeah.
It's cool that you bring up always having a flash on hand, because I recently just got my first flash.
Yeah.
I always heard the 3 songs, no flash. So
Sure.
I was like, I pretty much only shoot shows, or like I shoot comedy shows too, but it's like same small club environment. You don't want to be just flashing and distracting the whole time.
Totally.
But like in an instance like that, where like it's the lights are just completely, they're playing in the dark, and I can't wait to get back to talking about Mets playing in the dark, because that sounds insane.
Yeah.
But like, if you hadn't had like a flash on hand, like that memory would forever just be just blank or black frames, just
for sure. Yeah, it would have been so hard. I know another photographer there who didn't have a flash, and he was trying just so hard to get a bounce flash, was to try to shoot at the same time other people were shooting. So he probably wore out his shutter pretty hard that show. But sometimes you just get very lucky. Yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah, it was chaos. It was like there was a little bit of light because it was during the day. I think maybe it was like late afternoon, so there was light from the front window in. But you very much, if you're taking photos, you weren't gonna.
Yeah, that's not gonna flash. That's not gonna do anything.
No.
I remember the first time I saw Mets. It was at Union Transfer in Philly.
Cool.
And it was the tour they did with Fiddlar.
Oh yeah.
And
okay.
I remember, like, I guess like everybody assumed Fiddlar was headlining that show, so the place there was a lot of space afterwards, because everyone was like, oh, I want to go to the Fiddlar merch booth, I want to go try and meet them after outside. So it was like I got right up front on the barrier from when Mets came out, and I remember just like the way that like the lights were all circling around, and when Alex is like shaking his face to stay in time and everything,
sure.
I was like, I'm watching an exorcism right now. This is so horrifying, but like the coolest kind of horrifying.
Yeah.
So
they very much get into it, like in that mind, like that time.
Yeah. So just having that be just in utter darkness just sounds like it would be.
It was
unforgettable in so many ways.
They played some pretty cool shows, like in Toronto. A lot of like closing venues. There was a venue called Parts and Labor, which was opened by Matty Matheson.
Right on.
So they would have Parts and Labor was in the basement, and they would have shows in the basement all the time, like punk shows and hardcore shows, and then it got less and less, and then I think he sold the business or whatever. I can't remember. Anyways, Mets played the final Parts and Labor show.
Right on.
And that was also pretty insane. Like, people were like punching the ceiling and like shit everywhere, and like and they also played another venue's last show called the Silver Dollar in Toronto, and that was also pretty insane. Somebody ripped the big sign down and was crowd surfing on the crowd, and like,
I think I've seen a photo of yours of that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, okay. Probably. Yeah.
That was very sounds much like a familiar thing.
Yes, yeah.
I do have another, since we're still talking Mets, we've got a secret photo in reserves.
Oh, awesome.
It was a Mets print that I believe you said this was from a church that was abandoned or something.
It was a regular church in a regular town.
Okay.
And it was such a weird offshoot show. I don't know. I honestly never got around to asking them how that happened or how that got hooked up. But yeah, my one friend was like, "Hey, do you want to go see the or do you want to go see Mets play in a church?" And I was like, "Okay, I guess. I don't know. Sure. I'll go see
Hell
Mets
yeah.
anywhere." Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we went and it was really it was very strange. It was one of the stranger shows, like they had a barricade and stuff like that. And it was very weird, but it was also a church, but I would have gone to see Mets anywhere.
Hell yeah.
And they became good friends as well. Like I went down and shot a couple of shows on their last American tour. Like I went to New York, Philly, and Baltimore. Actually,
Yeah, I
yeah.
saw you. I saw you at the Baltimore
Oh
show
yeah, right,
floating
That's
around.
right. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was really fun. That was really really fun. Yeah, and I was just glad I got to do those final couple shows before they called it quits.
Did you know that it was going to be like? Did they say anything about that, or was it just kind
I did.
of
I did not.
okay?
No, no,
That makes it
no.
more special though, because
Yeah,
you were
totally.
like you're just capturing it as it is,
Yep,
and it
yep,
it happens to be the last time that they're doing a run.
for sure. Taking
That's
photos of my
very
friends.
special.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I remember
Exactly.
that Baltimore show is special because Mets was the first band that ever let me photograph them.
Oh,
And
cool.
so like they've always just been that like special connector for me.
Totally.
Um and so when they were at that Baltimore show, that was the third time I was going to be photographing them. And I gave myself a little like photo assignment because I was getting like I was in a weird like stale place.
Sure.
And I was like, normally when I'm shooting shows, I'll run around the whole venue and whatnot. But the first time that I like did this venture, I was just trapped in the corner of like the jam-packed venue that I was seeing them at. And so I was like, I'm gonna stay in this spot the entire show. And then hindsight being 2020, if I had known it was the last time I was gonna get to photograph them,
Right.
I probably would have chosen a different show to do that experiment with.
For
But
sure.
it is what
Hey,
it is.
hey, at least you were there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There's just something special about Mets where every time I've seen them, it's just been this whole experience that like just getting to see them in just that alone is cool. But like you said, you never know what you're gonna get, and it's kind of like in a photography sense, it's like, ooh, I don't know. We're on our feet with this one,
Yes.
thinking on
Yeah.
our toes.
And that's why I like the smaller shows, and that's why I like the band, like the chaos is that it keeps me guessing.
Yeah,
And and it, don't get me wrong, shooting like the big stadium shows is so much fun because A, you know you're gonna get photos
yeah,
regardless.
yeah. It's like
B,
impossible not to.
exactly. And B, you don't have to work ultimately that hard, and
Mm-hmm.
like it's gonna turn out regardless.
Yeah,
They're gonna turn out regardless. But with those smaller shows, which I really thrive in, it's just like you never know what you're gonna get. You never know what you're
yeah,
gonna walk away with, and sometimes you walk away with nothing.
yeah.
So
That is also the
yeah,
case at
yeah,
times.
yeah. Or you're so disappointed in what you've done. Like, but
Yeah,
sometimes you can't control those things, and those are I think the biggest learning. Like, those are the biggest lessons
yeah,
that I've taken away is like when I've shot a show and I walked away from it and went, that was really bad. Like that was really, really hard, or that was I really dislike. I don't think I got a single photo that I enjoy. Um, those are the lessons where I go, what could I have done better?
yeah,
Or like what will I carry forward from this?
yeah. Definitely. I'll always come home and journal after a
Oh,
show, or it's
nice.
like
That's a great idea.
it like I think it started on a night that things didn't go great, and I was like, I'm so stupid. I need to keep this in mind. What am I doing? But
For
it was
sure.
like just kind of getting those thoughts on the page to be like, all right, I actually learned X, Y, or Z in the process of this. For better or worse, I have to keep that in mind so that I don't run into this error again. Or if I
Totally.
do, I can be better about correcting it.
Yeah, and that's so important. Like I I almost wish I had done that in several occasions because I find myself in the same situation sometimes and just like I should have learned from my mistake the first time.
Yeah,
Um, so that's a like a very positive thing to grow on,
for
and
sure.
to back at what you've done, and
Definitely.
because sometimes all of that gets really lost after. Or my favorite question is like, did you, when people are like, oh, did you enjoy the first three songs? I'm like, I have no idea what they even played
Yeah.
half the time.
Yeah.
So
It's a whole zone that you get in
right.
where it's like with shooting comedy shows too, like friends will be like, "Oh, how was this comedian on the show?" And I'm like, "I remember the show going good. People were laughing, but
People
I
were
couldn't tell
laughing.
you a single joke that was said."
Totally, you're in such a mindset that you need to
Yeah.
take these photos. Um, and I've been trying really hard to step outside of that and enjoy myself more.
I
And
have too, man. I
yeah,
know what you mean.
yeah, and take it of less of an assignment and more of a, I
Yeah.
want to be here
Yeah.
because I do, but I'm also so focused on what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, it's hard to like relax and you're enjoying your time at the event, but it's
For
hard to
sure,
enjoy the event itself when you're like doing all this
exactly,
like algebra in your head all the
totally.
time.
And that's also a killer for me for if I don't take photos and I go to a concert or a
Oh, I
show.
know.
It's very very hard for me to to remove myself from that idea, and that viewpoint is like, oh, I wish I was taking photos right now, but I'm not.
Yeah.
So um it's really really tough to get out from under that. But I've been learning a lot more, and I've been easier on myself these last couple of years, which has been really nice.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Any shows you're shooting upcoming you're looking forward to?
Yes, yeah. Good friends with the Flatliners.
Right on.
They play a holiday show every year, and I'm gonna be doing that. That's coming up. That's with Fucked Up and Sam I Am,
Hell yeah.
which will be really, really cool. Oh, and Dead Broke. Can't forget about Dead Broke.
Hell
Those
yeah,
those
man.
guys are good friends as well. And then doing Blissmas with Better Lovers and Converge and
Nice.
Terror and Teen Mortgage. I forgot a
Dude,
couple of the other
Teen
bands.
Mortgage rips. They are
Oh yeah,
so cool.
yeah, they are very good, very very good. For a two piece,
Yeah.
you really need to be able to do something special.
Yeah.
And
There's something specific going on in their brains that
totally,
like
yeah,
it's impressive
that's
to say the
so
very least.
exactly impressive is the best way to describe it, because man, two like the weight is on your shoulders when there's only two people in your band.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
If there's a mistake, it's you can tell it's coming from one of the two of you.
exactly.
You don't have that
Or
third to kind of balance it out a bit.
right, or if the show like, or if you're not bringing something to the show, that people aren't really taking anything away from it, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I saw them
that's
as the
tough.
opener band one time, and I was like, "Oh my god, what are the
Yeah,
two of you making right now? This
yeah,
is
yeah.
incredible!"
It's awesome. I saw them open up for Death from Above here in
Yeah,
Toronto. So it's a two piece band opening up for another two piece band, which is super sweet. And that was my first time seeing them play. I was like, oh yeah, I understand why people enjoy them.
yeah,
Yeah,
for sure, man.
yeah.
Cool. Any bucket list bands? Any bucket list bands that you haven't shot yet that are that you love to?
Yeah, Radiohead is always the
Sick.
one. I unfortunately I did get approved to shoot the one show in Toronto, but it was that catastrophe that happened at Downsview Park when the stage collapsed.
Man,
Yeah, I was so excited. I was on my way, and my best friend was working the one of the bars at the venue, or at like at the yeah, I guess at the venue, and he messaged me. He's like, "Go home, turn around and go home." Like it. He's like, the stage just collapsed, and the show's canceled,
yeah,
and I was so bummed. That was actually during one of the better years for North by Northeast in Toronto here. I had given up shooting Flaming Lips at like Flaming Lips at Dundas Square in Toronto. They Dundas Square is kind of like a mini. They've tried to make it into a mini New York, like downtown New York. And they would close down. They have a stage right there, and they would close down the big streets there, and bands would like huge bands would play, like Flaming Lips would play, and it was free for anyone who wanted to go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I had given up shooting that to shoot Radiohead. Obviously, I would do that.
Yeah,
I've shot the Flaming
makes
Lips
sense.
before, but then when that got canceled, I couldn't shoot the other one because I had said yes to the other. So I was kind of like, now I'm shooting myself in the foot, and now I'm really sad because I'm not doing either.
Yeah. Did your
But
heart feel like the stage collapsing?
yes, 100%, 100%. And I was really worried that they would never play Toronto after that again. But they have, and I haven't gone because I've never been in town when they played. So maybe the next time. Who knows?
The
Who
stars
knows?
will align one day, man.
I hope so. I hope so.
Hell yeah, man. Well, Riley Taylor, photographer extraordinaire,
Thank you.
Larva
Thank you.
Lungs on Instagram.
That's right. Yeah.
Where'd the name come from, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm not gonna lie. I stole it from. I saw someone paste it on a mailbox in Calgary, Alberta, in Canada here when I lived out there, and I said that is weird, really,
Yeah.
really weird. I like how it sounded, and it became like my username for a bunch of like things, and then I was like, well, when Instagram started, I guess I'll use that as my username, and that was before I really had started taking photos at shows, and or really had started posting
Yeah.
on Instagram. So I just kind of went with it and didn't change it, and now I
Now you can't.
now I can't, and now it's just something goofy that will follow me around.
Well, I personally love it.
Thank you,
And
thank you,
personally, I love you and your work.
thank you, man. I really
Hell
appreciate
yeah.
that. I appreciate that.
Hell yeah, man. It was great talking to you. I
You
really
too.
appreciate you.
Yeah, of
really
course.
appreciate your patience with me.
Of course, no worries, no worries.
Hell yeah, man. Well, I'd love to do this again sometime.
Anytime, anytime.
Hell yeah, man.
Cool.
Well, safe travels to you in your future.
Thanks, man. You too.
Hell yeah, man.
All right. Bye.
Peace.